Hello friends, it is my lecture series on C language, programming logics and techniques. Very first, I will give you motivation to explain these many applications written in the C language like Adobe, like Mozilla, MySQL, Wind Amplifier. So it is a useful and a fruitful language. Sometimes it is also known as a mother language. It is also known as a middle level language. Why? Because program can be written in the low level, that is for the device driver, and the high level programming language. So very first we will see what is the programming logic and techniques. Programming logic and techniques basically give the opportunity to learn how program function as a sequence of instruction, how data is organized and controlled, and also how algorithm use data to make a computer program works. It is my commitment after completing of this kind of programming classes, you should be able to create and maintain programs. Now I will give you the brief of my course detail. Very first I will give or cover formula based problem including operator precedence. In the next lecture I will brief the decision making using if and if else, if else if and switch. Then next two lecture for the looping. In the third lecture for loop, nested for loop, break and continue, key control keywords. In the fourth lecture while and do while loops, nested while loop, do while loop, and also problem like a pyramid formation. In the fifth lecture I will explain the how break problems into the subproblem that is known as a function. In function, how parameter pass into function. The next two lectures, 6 and 7, dedicated to array. The sixth lecture, especially for one-dimensional int array, two-dimensional int array. Seventh lecture for dedicating one-dimensional character array, two-dimensional character array. Here I will also explain the strings and group of strings. In the eighth lecture, very important topic is pointer. How this pointer is related to one-dimensional array with the character one-dimensional array and with two-dimensional array. Then I will explain the structure using also the standard library string functions. In the 10th lecture, there is a C processor, preprocessor, including macro, file inclusion, conditional compilation. In the 11th lecture, I will explain recursion, how memory allocated dynamically, how memory can resize and releasing. In the last lecture, fully dedicated to file handling. We will start the first lecture. The first problem is problem to add to number. Here we will explain the steps how to solve a problem. The very first step is the analysis. There is a formula for adding two number. It is sum of two number which is equal to first number plus second number. The inputs are what? First number and simply second number. Why? These are the unknown in the right hand side of the equation. Now we have to calculate what? The variable that is the left hand side, that is sum of two numbers. Of course, the output is the sum of two numbers. The second, the flowchart to explain the visualization of the problem. I use some standard symbols like a circle, rhombus, rectangle. Circle I use for the start and end. Rhombus I use for input and output. Rectangle for the calculation. The very first section in the problem must be the input, second is the calculation, third is the output. Now we have to select language. I have selected C language. The coding we have to write in the C language syntax. So what is the format of the C language is nothing but start with the header files and the main program. In the main program, the first line should be the declaration of the variables, then input section, then calculation and the output section. I use one message into two integer, see in the output, and then easily I can input the two number like 2, 11, 12 and 11. Now this I am using the scanf format %d control argument and their formats. Now I will use the formula for the addition of two number and then display the complete equation 12 plus 11 plus 23. How? By the printf %d plus %d plus equal to %d. The first %d for the first number, second %d for second number, and third %d for sum of two number. Now the second problem, that is the print ASCII value. Very first we have to understand what is ASCII. ASCII is nothing but American Standard Code for Information Interchange. We can easily divide it ASCII table into three different sections. One is the non-printable, lower ASCII, higher ASCII. Non-printable is the first 32 character. It is for the your controlling printing. Now the lower ASCII is nothing but 32 to 127 number, in which you will get 0 to 9, capital A to capital Z, small a to small z, and the all special symbols. Higher ASCII, it is between 128 to 255. This is basically you can get by the alter keys. Now this is the table in which the all symbols are representing with the decimal number and binary number. For example, 0 is 48, for 9 57, small a 65, capital A is a 65, and is capital Z for the 90, small a for the 97, and small z for the 122, and the some symbols are there, that is the 127. Now let me for higher side, that is extended or higher ASCII character and codes. Here we will give the some special symbols. By these special symbols we can make a easily graphics rectangle. In graphics we require the four corner. The four corner we have a value like a this 191, then 192, and also 212, 213, and horizontal line 196, and the vertical line is the 1789. Now let a simple problem. to read character, symbol and display that's ASCII value. Let G is a capital G for the input and the output is 71. Now it is a visualization in which input is nothing but CH and output is integer value of CH. In the coding we will see the format. Now here dictator type is the character, one message and one scanf, and we will able to read a G. Then by printf we can easily get a what? Your 71. The first print C percentage C for the symbol and %D for the their ASCII value. Now the third problem is the problem to find the sum and average of 5 number. It is a very common formula or the common problems. By this problem we can easily generate the logics. Now let the first step is the analysis, including formula for sum of 5 number, average of 5 number, and inputs are unknowns A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. Calculate right hand variables like a sum and average, and the output are sum of average. Then we have to go for the visualization. So in the visualization, the input are A1 to A5, calculate are sum and average, and output are sum of 5 number and the average of 5 number. Now before making the coding, we can also go for the dry run. This dry run, I will say it is a truth table of the my program. It is made by input variable, calculate variable, and output variable. In the input variable, let A1 to A5, calculate variable sum and average, and output is sum and average. Here I am taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the sum are 15. Of course, average is 3, and sum and average we will display 15 and 3. Now in coding, you can easily see the very first declaration statement of A1 to A5 sum and average, and the printf enter a 5 number and 5% D for what? For the 5 input number. Let 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 see the output. Now in sum you make a 5 numbers and average with the sum and divide by 5. Of course here both operand are integer, so we should get the output or result of average in the integer. That's why you can see in the printf sum is equal to %d, average is equal to %d, and I will get what? 15 and 3. Program, that is the find area of circle. Very popular program, area of circle. First analysis with the formula area of circle pi into radius into radius. Now input is what? 2 radius? No, only the 1 radius. And the calculate what? Area of circle by the formula. And the output is what? Right hand side variable area of circle. Now the visualization, input, calculate, and the output. Now we will able to see that this dry run. If we will input 0, I should get a area of circle as a 0. Let the radius are 10, I should get 331.4 as area of circle. Now it is a coding of area of circle program. Start with the declaration statement, input statement, that is the enter radius, and the calculate the area of circle and the output area of circle. Now here we are using the float radius and the float area of circle. Now the next program is the swap two number using temporary variable. So let very first we have to understand the mathematics. What? Given number are A and 10, B is equal to 20. Output what? We should get a swap. A should be 20, B should be 10. How? That we have to make a logic. Now what is the logic? Logic basically, let formula with the temp is equal to A is equal to B, and B is equal to temp. Now the input are what? The two unknown A and B. Calculate temp is equal to A is equal to B, and B is equal to temp. Output must be A and B. Now the flowchart. Visualize the flowchart. Input section A and B. Calculate the all three expression, and the output is A and B. Now we will see the dry run and easily can understand. Let A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20. Very first temp is equal to A. So A is 10. Now second is what? A is equal to B. So whatever in B should be in A. And the last B is equal to temp. So temp value will be shifted to B, that is 10. And whatever in the A and B, we will get the output 20 and 10. Now here is the coding of that program. Very first declaration statement, first number, second number, temporary variable. First read the one number, second number. Now make a three expression. The temporary variable is equal to first number is equal to second number, and the second number is equal to temporary variable. And after swapping, we have to print the proof. So let your enter first number 10 in the output, enter second number is 20, then after swapping it should be 20 and 10. So this is the logic. Now the sixth program, that is the find sum of initial digit of any 4-digit integer number. Let given 4-digit number are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1234. We have to separate out. So in separate out the 4, very first D1, D2, D3 and D4. Here we will get 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So I should get the output 4 plus 3, 7, 2, 9 and 1, 10. I should get sum as a 10. Now let the formula, very first you have to separate out the first digit, that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. So by this mod operator, and then do the division so that your remainder will be truncate. So D1, D2, D3 and D4. Now let input is what? This n, and calculate D1, D2, D3, D4 and sum, and output is what? Your sum. It is your visualization. Input n, calculate D1, D2, D3, D4 and sum, and then output is sum. In dry run, we can easily understand the process. The very first input is what? 1234. So D1 is 4, D2 is 3, D3 is 2 and D4 is a 1. And sum is what? 10, and output sum should be 10. Now what about 4321? 4321. So D1 should be 1, D2 2, D3 3 and D4 fourth digit is the 4. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now sum is what? Again 10, and sum is output is 10. Now in program we can easily understand the implementation. That declaration statement D1, D2, D3, D4 input n, sum of all digits. Then first read a 4-digit number, then separate out first number, second number, third number and 4-digit. And then we will go for the summation and output the sum of all digits. Now the seventh program is calculate simple interest. It is simple interest what? P star N star R. P is principal, N is the number of year and R is the rate of interest. Now here we have to understand the precedence, operator precedence. Now star is there and slash is there. In mathematics there is a BODMAS rule. In the BODMAS, very first open bracket, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Here we have higher priority of first multiplication and division, and lower priority is addition and subtraction. So which will come first? It will be the solve one. So first it will be solve, second this one, and the sum all over the result will be divided by the 100. So the input are unknown, right hand side PNR, calculate simple interest, and what your output. This is the visualization. In the input is there, calculate is there, and the output is there. By dry run, easily we can understand. Let P is a principal amount, year, and the rate. If it is there, then simple interest will be the 125 on the 1000. Then it is a your coding. Start with the declaration statement, input statement, calculation, and the output statement. Now let do the practice for find the circumferences of circle and demonstrate arithmetic operator like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. In the next lecture, we will see the branching statement. Goodbye.